Mm-hmm.
Did you get that?
Uh-huh.
Well, going in, I had heard that where I was going had been haunted. So I was very curious because I follow things like that.
You know, first of all, you get that weird feeling in the back of your neck where it's, you know, the hairs stand up. And
There was a general feeling of unease walking in, but I kind of expected that given that it's a haunted house.
There was just that odd feeling on the back of my neck where my hairs were standing up.
It sounded like something was walking behind me, like 2 feet behind me. I heard Thursday's these footsteps. That's when I turned around. I thought it was Dustin, but he was off to my right. And I'd hear the footsteps because the floor was kind of crunchy sand and dirt on the floor, and you'd hear footsteps.
I had footsteps going by.
For the past 7 years, I have owned and operated Misery Haunted House, a seasonal haunted house attraction located in Wisconsin. During that time, for 3 years, we were located in one of the creepiest buildings that I have ever been in. I have contacted some of my former staff that have worked there during that time to get first-hand accounts of their encounters in that building.
Well, sit down there.
When I was a little tiny, my mother said I could be anything I wanted to be. So you know what I became? Man!
There's only a few things that actually happened to me there. But most of it is just a really uneasy feeling in certain places. There was one hallway I didn't like just because it was just creepy, and you get over there and it just would be cold and just real uneasy feelings.
got really creeped out, and that was just me feeling something, was that far hallway that would come up next to where the makeup room was, and you know, I would walk a little faster because it just felt like something was following me or something was there. I couldn't put my finger on it, I didn't see anything, but it was just one of those where you had that feeling of there's something in here and I'm gonna get moving, move a little quicker through there, whether I had lights or not.
I did see some shadows peeking out working with Derek. There were times when we were hauling stuff to and from the storeroom, and he would say, I just saw a shadow. And then, you know, he'd go one way, I'd come back, you know, we'd kind of traded off what we were doing, and I'd come back and I'd see the shadow, and then he'd come back, I saw it again, you know.
Looked like something ran around the corner there, but I don't know.
We go through and take pictures of our actors and stuff throughout the season for promotional use and that. And I took a picture of one of my actors in one of these portal windows. And when we went back to review the pictures for editing and stuff later, there's like a skull face in the window behind them. And there was no other actors in that room. There's no other props or mannequins or masks or anything else in that room with them at the time. It was just the actor behind these plexiglass windows. So this skull face, whatever it was, we have no explanation as to why it was there.
One of the biggest experiences I had in Misery was walking into the doll room, actually. First of all, you get that weird feeling in the back of your neck where it's, the hairs stand up, and then I literally, it felt like something brushed across the top of my head, and and I looked around and there was nothing there. I mean, it was just an eerie, cold, hair on the back of your neck standing feeling. It was just really odd.
When I was in the bedroom, which was next to the pet room, walls were covered in dolls, and the dresser had about 2 or 3 on there, and there was a specific doll in a chair. And just, there was always subtle movements in there. I'd turn to act and scare somebody, and once they left the room, I'd turn back and its arm would be up or its head would be looking at me.
It just so happened on this night that the fire alarm system was triggered by one of our landlord's friends smoking a cigar in the basement. And we all evacuated the building, figured out what had happened, went back in, reopened the haunt. Well, as we were starting to reopen, Simon went back into the doll room and found one of the dolls standing in the middle of the floor.
The fire alarm up front went off, and I went to go see what had happened, and I came back and it was standing up on the floor. What happened in that room? I was very upset and depressed with awful vibes whenever I walked in there. The second that I would walk out to a different room that wasn't there, I'd feel nothing, and I'd walk back in and it'd be the same thing all over again. Just those bad, heavy, almost vibes.
So this was my favorite room of the haunt. You kind of freaked me out the other night. See, I got goosebumps all over right now.
I think the epitome of the weird and bizarre things that happened to me personally out there happened in, I believe, July, the first year that we were setting up. The area of the building we're in has 2 skylights, and it lets a lot of sunlight in during the summer. So once the haunt was finished, we had to go in and do all the lighting of each scene. And you couldn't do this during the day because the sun was up and it just had too much bleed through light into the attraction to effectively do the lighting to the standard that I wanted. So one day I decided to go out there at 10:30 at night by myself to set up all the lighting in the haunt. And I had already started working on it in the swamp. So when I got there, I turned on the computer, turned on some of the office lighting and stuff, and I was the only one out there. I have a flashlight on my hat, and I walked out to the area of the swamp. And I came in the back, or the reverse way through the swamp, from the castle area, down the swamp, past this large like waterfall, over to the front of the swamp. And when I got there, I turned around to survey the swamp and check out the scenic lighting that was already set up in there. And while I was in there, I looked across the waterfall to this 6-foot tall silk fake tree. And one of the branches on the tree was just lightly bobbing like this. Which is really weird because nothing else in this place is moving. There's no wind, there's no open doors, there's no open windows. You're in the middle of the building, in the middle of this closed-in haunted house. Okay, that's kind of interesting. There's nobody else here doing this either. So I watched it for a little while, and I started walking back towards it. Well, as I got towards it, I turned on my headlight so I could see better, and I started looking at the tree. Well, as I got directly across from it, the whole tree started violently shaking. And I stepped back to see if there was someone behind it doing that. And as I did, the tree shot across the walkway where I had just been standing and was now laying at my feet. I got freaked out. I got goosebumps now thinking about this. I looked around. There was no one there. I bolted up to the front. I turned off the lights and I left. The next day, myself, my mom, Derek, I think a few other people came back out there. And I had told them all what happened. And we were going to debunk this. So we went back to this room and we looked at the tree. The tree is about 6 foot tall. It has a plaster or cement base on it, like a weight. This thing doesn't fall over. You can yank on it and it just wobbles right back to standing. You literally have to yank that tree to get it off balance enough to have it fall.
Right there is where that moved.
What?
The tree. When I was in here by myself. Right there. And then when I got up, what is that? It's like a branch.
I thought it was a tree branch. That's weird.
Yeah, right there.
It's moving.
Do you see it?
It's starting to move. Who's there?
This one?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's why it's
Can you tell me who's moving that branch?
Like the bottom big green one. Right there. Yeah.
I don't see it.
No, over farther.
This one?
Yeah, but you're not on it anymore.
Ooh, it just felt cold going by me.
Shh. Stay there.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
Is it still moving?
Either it is or I am.
Hmm?
Do you see that?
The branch moving?
No, the whole fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that? Do you see that?
I don't see anything.
I do.
You don't see it this way. It's moving this way. But the whole thing.
Who's moving that tree? Tell us.
You can move the tree, you can knock. So knock. Since we can't
If
all
someone-
see the tree move. Just knock. Anywhere. A little louder. Louder, so that we know you're knocking. Not just a tick. It's not loud enough. Come on, it's a bug zapper. Or move the tree more. If that's what you like to do, move the tree.
Was it both trees moving or just that one?
Just the one moves.
That one? The one that fell across
Go ahead.
your pathway?
Dare you to move. All I see is dirt floating around in front of my flashlight.
Take a deep breath and blow out.
Me?
No, her. I swear the leaves right here that I'm looking at moved, but you didn't do it. Yeah,
That's me.
but not that much. Just the ones that were there.
These move.
Oh no, I was looking at this one right there.
I'm just playing with it. Make that swing again. More. Can't see it. Oh, that was me.
Holy shnikes!
Can you make it swing the other way? This way. I don't knock. Just see, are you like tickling me or what are you doing to me? Stop doing that. Maybe it's just my nerves, but you can make it swing like this. Swing it over here. Swing it over here. Not that far.
You playing with Enigma?
Yeah, I just everything. Can't make it swing like that.
Seems to be a lot of stuff going on up there.
What happened to your head? Why is it so crooked?
What's behind me right now? Like on my neck.
Your hair? Hair?
Any bugs or anything?
No.
Something just touched me there then.
Are you
Because
taking-
I haven't moved, and it just felt like either something just like blew on the back of my neck.
It's getting colder in here.
Yep. It just felt like somebody just on the back of my neck.
Could be me.
You're over there playing with that.
No,
Because
no,
my hair is
I have
right
the
here.
red one
Look at
over
this.
there.
See? This is my hair back here.
Yeah.
And it just felt like it got depressed on the back of my neck.
Are you touching us? Because you keep getting that and it moves in different places and I don't see no bugs. Do you like to tickle? Tickle him again. He likes it more than I do.
Yeah. Just like somebody goes on the back of my neck.
It's really cold right here and now I'm getting goosebumps. Do you like us in here? Boy, I got goosebumps from head to toe. Everywhere. I'm just like, just one solid goosebumps. Tickle him again.
Can you pull my hair? Not that I really want you to. No, it's moving again.
No, that's this one I don't.
Look at the thing.
Could be the breeze coming over the wall.
Yeah, but I shut the door. Where's the breeze coming from? And that wall's actually all closed up now. There's no...
Well, I know you said that he saw the curtain in there move when he walked through here before. And I told him it's probably just the breeze.
That curtain?
Yeah, but he was going through Spider Alley. There's cold spots, the swamp especially. It just, for no reason, would just get really cold. In the swamp area and in the pet shop, I got poked. The swamp area was just, like standing there, and it just like somebody takes a finger and just, pokes you, like, move. And in the pet shop, I distinctly remember standing in there discussing how we were going to change things around for the next season, and just standing in one doorway, and everybody else was standing on the other side of the room. It was Barnaby, and I don't know who else was in there talking. And then and something just came up and just like poked me in the arm, like, move over, I'm standing here, I want to be in this too. And I did, and I just, move over. It doesn't scare me. It just, okay, fine.
One of the most active areas of the building for us was the pet shop, doll room, bedroom area of the haunt. In that area, it seemed like whenever we put a female actor in there, something would interact with it. We have had numerous volunteers tell stories about their encounters in that area.
When I worked in the pet shop, I literally only worked there for like one night, because I just walking into the room was this overwhelming feeling of just like being watched, but it was like more malicious than that. It was very intimidating.
One night before we opened, I walk through the entire attraction and I check on all the actors. I make sure the newer actors know what they're doing in each location. I came into the pet shop area where Chandra, one of my actors, was, and I found her sitting on the floor. She told me that she couldn't be in that room because there was something in there with her.
Very unnerving. Like, you couldn't turn your back anywhere in the room because it felt like there was someone standing there just waiting for you to turn your back on them. It was very creepy. And I really couldn't handle it.
And I took her out and I moved her to another room for the night, and I moved another one of my female actors in there. Later that night, that actor ended up going home sick. At which point, whatever was in there was not happy, and so I took Derek and I put him in there for the rest of the night, and he didn't really seem to have a problem. He never said anything about anything that was going on in there or anything that night, so it didn't seem to affect the male actors as much.
And then when I was in the pet shop, there was a birdcage, I think, on the desk, I think, if I remember correctly. Off to my right, I come out just to look at it, see what's going on. All of a sudden, the door flew open. I was pretty intrigued. I shut it. I asked if something was there to open it again. I can see it slowly moving, but it didn't fully open yet. Then I shut it, and I'm like, oh, come on, you can open it more than that. Sure as can be, it opened again. Right on demand.
In the birdcage, and I would like keep the birdcage closed because I don't know, OCD reasons, I guess. But I would close it and then turn back around to it and it would be open. Like, it wouldn't stay closed. Which was weird to me because it had like a latch. So that was weird. Very unnerving. The whole feeling in that room was just unnerving. And then I got moved to a different room and it was like I was totally fine. There was no problems at all.
If anybody's in this room, can you make that door open, please? Anybody here?
Okay.
That's not the answer I was looking for, but okay, I'll take it.
Who was in here with the girls this evening? Somebody in here scare one of my actors?
What's your name?
You only like it when girls are in here?
Are you a female yourself? Alright, so you open that door, can you do it again? I want to see it myself one more time.
Just want to knock.
It seems to like the knock to get an answers. If I... That was like a tap, it sounded like a book.
There's a snap and a bang. You gotta be quiet. You gotta say something and then be quiet. Otherwise you talk over it. I know. Oh, good.
Can you finish this for me?
Get closer. Getting that far away?
Come on in here with us. Into the little pet shop. Can you knock on the wall right near us?
One time, it was, I think it was Barnaby, Jenna, and I were in the pet shop. We're working on an L-shaped counter, and Jenna was on the opposite side of the counter. My mom was on this end of the counter, and I was behind it screwing the top back on and putting the counter into place. When I had finished with that, I went to step out from behind the counter, and there was a about 4-foot tall homemade wooden and mesh bird cage with this turkey decoy in it. And as I came around the corner of the counter, the turkey literally lunged forward in the cage. You know, he had sat in there all that while, and then all of a sudden he just decided to jump. So, and I guess other people have had experience with that cage too, so maybe it was the cage and not the turkey. I hope, because the turkey's at home with me.
I'd be standing in a spot, know there was nothing behind me or near me, and step away or step to move, and I'd have a cage near me. So I knew I wouldn't hear it move, but it would be out of place. Put it back into place, and it would happen again. I think the first year that was pretty much the main room I was in, so little things just kind of kept happening. There was a curtain hanging in between me and another actor, and at the height of a child, I could see the curtain being pulled back a little bit. And I kind of watched, and I'm like, I see you. And the curtain went down, and then it went back out further, child height, watching, and it's like, we're good. You can stand there and watch all you want. We're good.
We had a factory scene. And in this scene, we had a bunch of 55-gallon steel drums. We had a stack of 3 55-gallon drums that would tilt and fall at the customers as they came through. And these were set up on a motion sensor. So whenever the customers came through the attraction, these barrels would tilt and slam over. They make a ton of noise, and they scare the customers as they go through. Well, my actor in there said that these barrels kept going off and going off for no reason. There was no groups coming through, no customers, no other actors walking past the sensor. So I went in there, and it would stop. And I would go, okay. I would walk away, and a little while later, she would call me again. The barrels are going off. So I would go back in that room, and we shook walls. We moved around on the outside of the walls in the fire hallway to see if, something was setting them off that shouldn't have been, if it was a light triggering it by chance or something, and we could not get those barrels to go off again, just on their own.
And then another time, when I think I was going in by Sparky into what was that?
Factory?
The factory. And yeah, there I got pushed, or actually, almost like moved. It was kind of weird. It was hard to explain, where it wasn't like something physical touched you. It was just like you were being moved or being pushed into, almost the room. It was, it's hard to explain. It's you have to experience it. I mean, it was, it wasn't like a hard poke or anything like that. So
one night, one of my actors was working in the back of the haunt, and I got a call on the walkie from him, and he said that something weird was going on back there, and he didn't want to be in his room anymore. So I went back there, and I found him standing outside the back fire exit of the building, and he said that there was something like a shadow or something in his room.
It scared the crap out of me because Rob's not easy to scare.
So at the time, I had a FLIR camera on my phone, and I went back into the haunt with him, back into his room, and I said, okay, well, what did you see? Where did you see it? And he said that in the corner of the room that led from the room before him into his room, it looked like a shadow person was standing there or had leaned out and looked at him. So it was kind of dead. It was towards the end of the night. There was no groups coming through the haunt. So I stood there with my side facing him. He was facing forward, and I was facing towards the corner of where this entity was that he had seen. And on my FLIR, my thermal imaging camera, at the same time, the screen went cold, as if something had stepped out and was filling the screen. At that same time, my actor bolted out of that room.
That when he ran out of that room, I felt something. I didn't see anything, but I didn't feel exactly alone either.
As if he had seen something there, which was really interesting that the two completely different things coincided with each other, because he couldn't see my screen of my phone at the time to know what had happened, but he reacted as if he had seen something at the same time when I saw something on the camera.
When I was upstairs, the second year I believe we did that area, I would get glimpses of things moving out of the corner of my eye. One night, one of the other actors, when we didn't have anybody upstairs, was walking around with her phone challenging someone to come out, and she'd walk away and I'd hear a slide and see a motion out of the corner of my eye. They wouldn't do it for her, but as soon as she'd walk out of the room, she did that 2-3 times and I'd get the same thing. And I knew I was alone because I was in an big area where nobody else was.
Let's go up to HC quick and see if anything wants to be noisy up there. And then we'll go.
What was that?
Creaking.
Hmm?
Creaking.
Because it came from back that way.
No, it came from up here.
Is someone with us up here? I'm still getting
Shh, shh, shh. Sound like something walking back there?
Oh. What happened?
That fly is throwing me off. Did you not hear before, over in this area, the first time I said something, there was like a small voice, like a younger, yeah, kinda. It was over there though. It could have been outside, but there shouldn't have been anything coming from that direction.
What's in the other?
Well, duh.
Whoever made that noise, can you do that again so we can hear it louder or something? If anybody's up here with us, can you tap on a piece of wood? Can you do this?
It's hard to tell anything with the storm.
I'm just stayed right there and back there. It sounded like someone was walking.
I think that's over there. It's the building creaking over there with the wind.
But when I went over here, nobody
Everything echoes so much up here. What?
What happened? Something right there. I told my entity's eyes that there's something up here because I'm getting a really weird feeling. I don't know why that is.
All right.
What? Okay, Mom. What are you doing that can quit doing that? It's not necessary. You okay?
Very warm.
Yeah, me too.
Sick to my stomach.
As you talk to it, likes you more.
No. I talked to it back there. I told it to leave me alone.
Who is up here?
Oh no.
What? Oh, you thought you saw something?
Seems like there's a shadow moving back and forth between those
Curtains?
flaps, yeah.
Mm.
Like, I don't notice it. I notice it on the camera.
Yeah, it's not my shadow because I'm right here.
There's no way it'd be your shadow.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to. Yeah, I just saw that right there on the bottom. What? Yeah, I've seen that.
Shh.
Why does it look like that thing moving?
Is my light's shaking? See?
No, you had it still something. Why are you walking around it?
Get farther over of the curtain. The black curtain's hanging there, though. Not the... You see it? Alright, we're gonna come over there by you. Well, maybe we're gonna come over there.
I'll go there.
There you go. Yeah, you go ahead.
Who here is casting a shadow? I want to know who it is. If we saw you, and I want to know who you are.
No. Did you hear that?
What's that? I heard something.
Yeah, shush. Did you say something?
I just heard this in my voice back over here. Going,
I remember the investigation. I heard things upstairs. Derek and Barnaby were always ahead of me, and I kind of hung back, and I was on one side of the upstairs area, and they were more over in the hallway with the garage area or whatever that was called, and I was more in the dining room area. And there were voices up there. I can't remember what it said, but it said something and I didn't like it, and I moved into the other area where they were.
sound like footsteps. Who made that noise?
Hello? Did you just see a shadow way down there?
Yeah.
Like by a chair?
Yep. I saw a dart this way and went back this way.
You down there? God, if I didn't know any better, I'd say there's something behind that chair right there.
I see it moving.
And then it crept over there. Did you see that?
Looks like there's something black on the ground though.
Like it was over here and then it went that way. Now it's like over here by the garbage.
One of the weirdest things that we've had and actually caught on video happened one night when we were doing a paranormal investigation. Myself, my mom, and Derek had just come down from upstairs investigating. When we came around the corner, we thought we saw our landlord cross one of the doorways farther down the building. So we went down to investigate. When we got down there, not only could we not find him, but when we went back to review the tape, we got a little more than we bargained for there as well.
Hello?
I saw that.
Did you?
Yeah, it looked like a figure. Just
Yeah.
walked right in front of that, like whatever that was. It looked like right in front of the light, but you didn't block it out though.
It looked like Dan.
But, can't be the hand at this time, right?
Oh, yeah. It looked like jeans and a white t-shirt.
We went all through that area where we've ever been to before. We didn't see him hiding anywhere. We didn't see him walking anywhere. That was quite crazy, if you ask me.
You didn't see that?
I didn't look that way.
Because when me and him were looking, it looked like something was in that doorway. And
Looking that way, I wasn't.
It just looked like Dan walked out of there and then saw us and then walked that way. But I watched, he never came back, and I tried clearing that whole area.
I didn't see him come out from that area either.
Of course, we were interested in the history of the building and the land that it occupied. So we went to the local library to see if we could find any information on burial grounds or Indian mounds or anything weird, deaths in the area that may account for the strange occurrences at this building.
Okay, I do remember going to the library and doing research, and we spent a few hours there going through old history books and maps and things, trying to find, anyone that died there. And it was different kinds of factories and things, but we never found anything about anyone dying there. But just because no one died there doesn't mean that the spirits or whatever aren't attached to objects and things that we could have brought to the building.
It's more likely that an object in the building has spiritual energy tied to it that has been brought into the building, and that's what's manifesting throughout.
And they'd usually leave me alone. They were more like just playing with me more than anything, just to annoy me.
Yeah. It was interesting, though.
It was very odd.
So it was kind of cool to have that experience.
God, I miss that place. That's why I always post those great memories, because, God, such an experience. So that's about it.
I think that's
But now you're making me feel really nostalgic.
All right, guys, we're out. Have a good night.
Don't follow us home.
Make sure you all stay here, cozy and comfy.